I canceled this Thursday's session. I told the group I had a family emergency. That was a lie. I'm not sick. No one died. I canceled because I needed time to go through the attendance records. 11 years of them. And I needed to do it alone, in my office, with the door locked. Because what I found changes everything I thought I knew about who has been sitting in that room. Let me start from the beginning. I've been running the Thursday night bereavement group at the community center for 3 years. It's a small room, folding chairs in a circle, bad coffee, the same beige walls that every community center in this city seems to have. We meet at 7 p.m. We talk about loss. We talk about the people we've buried. We talk about the silence they left behind. I know every face in that room. I know who cries and who doesn't. I know who shows up late and who stays after to help fold the chairs. I know the sound of each person's grief, the way it sits in their voice, the way it changes over time. 3 months ago, someone new started attending. She was quiet, sat in the same chair every week, the one near the window, second from the end. She didn't speak much at first. When she did, her voice was soft, measured. The kind of voice that makes you lean in to hear it. Her name was Margaret. At least that's what she wrote on the sign-in sheet. I've been looking at that sign-in sheet all week. At first, I didn't notice anything wrong. Why would I? I run a grief group. People come, people go. Some stay for months, some for years. Margaret seemed fine. A little reserved, maybe, but that's not unusual. Grief does different things to different people. I told myself I was being hypervigilant. I've been under a lot of stress lately. The center's funding got cut. My own caseload has doubled. I haven't slept through the night in weeks. Anxious people find patterns that aren't real. I know this about myself. I teach it to my clients. So when I started noticing small things, I pushed them aside. The first thing was an eyelash on the bathroom mirror. I use that bathroom before every session. It's the staff bathroom, key code locked, no one else has access. I know my own eyelashes. These were longer, darker, and they were on the mirror in a way that suggested someone had been standing very close to it, looking at themselves. I wiped it off, didn't think about it again. That was my first mistake. The second thing was the smell. After each session, the room would smell different. Not the coffee, not the old carpet. A perfume. Something floral, but not sweet. Something that lingered in the air near the window, near Margaret's chair. I asked the other group members if anyone had started wearing a new scent. No one had. I asked Margaret directly the following Thursday. She looked at me with this expression I couldn't read. Not confusion, not offense. Something else. She said no. She said she didn't wear perfume. I should have pushed harder, but I didn't, because I told myself I was being paranoid. I was exhausted. I was projecting. I should talk to someone about this hypervigilant, I told myself after the 3rd week. It's not healthy. I was the counselor. I was supposed to have better boundaries than this. But then I noticed something I couldn't explain away. The look. 2 of my long-term group members, a woman named Diane who lost her husband, and a man named Harold who lost his daughter, exchanged a glance when Margaret spoke. It was quick, less than a second, but I saw it. Diane looked at Harold, Harold looked at Diane, and then they both looked down. It wasn't sympathy. It wasn't curiosity. It was something else. Something that looked like recognition. I asked Diane about it after the session. She said she didn't know what I was talking about. She said she hadn't looked at anyone. She left quickly. Harold left even faster. That was the moment I knew something was wrong. I started paying closer attention after that. To Margaret, to the room, to the records. The community center keeps sign-in sheets for all groups, attendance records, names and dates going back to when the building opened. I have access to the filing cabinet. I've never had a reason to look at the old sheets before. But last week, after the session, after I watched Diane leave without saying goodbye, after I smelled that perfume again, even though no one admitted to wearing it, I went back to my office. I pulled the file for the Thursday night bereavement group. I started going through the sheets. 11 years of records. 23 different group facilitators. Hundreds of names. Most of them appeared once, twice, a handful of times. People come and go, that's normal. But one name appeared in every year. Not every session, but every year. Different groups, different facilitators, different handwriting on the sign-in sheets, but the same name. Margaret. Margaret attended a Thursday night bereavement group in this building in 2013, and 2015, and 2018, and 2020, and now in my group in 2026. The handwriting changed. The phone numbers she wrote down, I checked them, were all different. Disconnected numbers. Some of them never existed in the first place. I started cross-referencing. I pulled records from other groups, the Tuesday afternoon loss group, the Monday night complicated grief group. The same name, the same pattern. Margaret appearing in cycles, staying for a few months, then disappearing, only to reappear years later in a different facilitators group. No one remembered her. When I called former facilitators, the ones I could still reach, none of them could recall a woman named Margaret in their group. But the sign-in sheets said she was there, week after week. I sat in my office until 3 a.m. going through those files, and the whole time, I kept thinking about Diane's face. That look, like she knew something I didn't. Like she had seen Margaret before. I called Diane this morning. She didn't pick up. I left a message. She hasn't called back. I called Harold. His wife said he wasn't feeling well. She said he's been having nightmares. She asked me if something had happened in the group that she should know about. I didn't know what to tell her. I don't know what to tell anyone. Because here's what I realized. Going through those records, sitting alone in my office with the door locked. The name Margaret appears 11 times across 11 years. But there's another name that appears more often. A name I didn't notice at first because it was always written in a different hand, on a different line, in a different part of the page. My name. Not as a facilitator, as an attendee. I've never attended a bereavement group in this building. I've never attended a bereavement group anywhere. I'm a grief counselor. I run the groups. I don't sit in the chairs. But the records show my name on sign-in sheets from 2017, from 2019, from 2022, from years before I started working at this center. The handwriting isn't mine. The phone number next to my name, I checked it, belongs to someone I've never heard of. Someone has been signing my name into bereavement groups for 11 years. Someone who knew I would eventually become a grief counselor at this exact community center. Someone who has been in the room with me every Thursday for the last 3 months. Not Margaret. The first one. I went back through the records again. I mapped every appearance of every name. I looked for patterns. I found one. Margaret started attending in 2013. That was the first year my name appeared on a sign-in sheet, written by someone else, in a different facilitators group, in a different room, on a different floor. Then Margaret disappeared for 2 years. My name stopped appearing too. Then Margaret came back in 2015. My name came back with her. For 11 years, wherever Margaret went, my name followed. Written in the same hand, on the same page. Never in the same group, always one facilitator removed, but always in the building, always on a Thursday. The person I've been watching in my group, the quiet woman in the chair by the window, the one who doesn't wear perfume, the one Diane and Harold recognized. She's not Margaret. She's the second one. The first one has been in my group since the beginning, since I started facilitating 3 years ago, since the very first Thursday. I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's Diane. I don't know if it's Harold. I don't know if it's the woman who brings cookies every week, or the man who never misses a session, or the teenager who sits in the corner and doesn't speak. But I know this. Whatever is in that room, whatever has been feeding on the grief we've been laying out like an offering every Thursday night, I invited it in. I made it safe. I created the space where it could sit and listen and learn every name and every loss and every soft, vulnerable place in every person who ever walked through that door. I canceled this Thursday's session. I told the group I had a family emergency. The truth is, I'm sitting in my office with the lights off and the door locked. I have 11 years of attendance records spread out on my desk, and I'm trying to figure out which face in that circle has been watching me longer than I've been watching it. I'm trying to figure out if it's the one who always stays after to help fold the chairs, or the one who never leaves. Okay, hi. If you're watching this, I'm probably already offline, which is saying a lot because I haven't logged off in like 4 years. I'm a content creator. Not a big one, like 30,000 followers. Mostly makeup tutorials, some lifestyle stuff, the occasional unhinged story time about bad dates or creepy DMs. You know the vibe. Nothing serious. Nothing that would make anyone pay attention to me. Except someone is paying attention. Someone has been paying attention for a long time. Let me start at the beginning. About 6 months ago, my engagement started dropping. Not dramatically, just enough to notice. The algorithm stopped pushing my videos. My views cut in half. Comments slowed to a trickle. I went from getting maybe 50 new followers a day to like 5. Maybe. I did what any normal person would do. I panicked. I cried. I called my best friend at 2 a.m. and asked if I should just give up and get a real job. Then I started studying the algorithm. I learned its language. I figured out what it wanted. Longer watch time, more retention, specific keywords in the title, post at exactly 7:34 p.m. on Thursdays, not 7:30, not 7:35, 7:34. Use the same 3 hashtags every time. Keep videos between 47 and 52 seconds. Never show a clock in the background. Never mention other platforms by name. I learned its rules, and for a while it worked. My numbers went back up. I was fine. I was safe. Then the notifications started. Not from the app, from my phone. Pop-ups that didn't come from any installed app. Just a black box with white text. No logo, no close button. Just words. Your content is improving. Your audience is growing. You are being watched. I thought it was a glitch. Maybe a beta feature. Maybe my phone was dying. I ignored it. Took a screenshot. Sent it to my friend. She said it looked fake. Probably a scam. Delete it. So I deleted it. But it came back. The next week, I got a comment on my latest video. Username was a string of numbers. 041789. The comment was 3 words. I see you. I checked the profile. No posts. No followers. Following 0. Created that day. Profile picture was just gray. I deleted the comment, blocked the account. The next day, there were 17 more. Same username, same 3 words. On videos going back 2 years. Videos I'd forgotten I'd even made. Videos from my old apartment. Videos from before I dyed my hair. Videos where I was wearing clothes I don't even own anymore. 17 comments, all posted within the same minute, all saying the same thing. I see you. I see you. I see you. I checked my analytics. The comments weren't there. Not in the data, not in the history, not in the engagement report. Like they had never existed. But I saw them. I know I saw them. I sat there at 2 a.m., refreshing the page, watching the numbers climb and then disappear. 17 comments, then 15, then 10, then 0. Gone. I told myself it was a glitch. The platform glitches all the time. Happens to everyone. I've literally made videos about platform glitches. There's one with like 40,000 views where I'm laughing about how the caption generator thought I said avocado when I actually said apocalypse. But the black box notifications kept coming. Your average watch time increased by 0.3 seconds. Your face appears in frame for 94% of your videos. You look better when you're scared. That last one. You look better when you're scared. I read it maybe 10 times. My hands were shaking. I wasn't scared when I read it the first time, but by the 10th time, I was. I factory reset my phone, changed all my passwords, turned off location services, deleted half my apps, even deleted TikTok, even deleted Instagram, even deleted the calculator app because I didn't trust anything anymore. The notifications stopped. For 3 days. Then I got an email. No subject, no sender, just a link. The link was to a video. My video. The one where I talked about the caption glitch, the avocado apocalypse one. But the video was different. The audio was the same, my face was the same, but the captions had been changed. They said, I know where you live. I know when you sleep. I have been watching you for 6 months. You are my favorite creator. I didn't click the link. Obviously. I'm not stupid. But I could see the preview. The first frame. My face. My living room. The same yellow pillow in the background. But there was something else in the frame. Something behind me. A shadow. Not mine. The wrong shape. Too tall. Too thin. Standing in my kitchen doorway. I don't have a kitchen doorway. My apartment is a studio. The kitchen is open. There is no doorway. But in that frame, there was. I threw my phone across the room. It hit the wall. The screen shattered. I didn't care. I bought a new phone the next day. New number, new email, new everything. I even moved. Same city, different building. 3rd floor instead of 2nd. No kitchen doorway. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. I thought I was safe. I thought I'd outrun it. I started posting again. New account, new username, nothing connected to my old content. I didn't even show my face at first. Just voiceovers. Just my hands. Just products on a white background. It felt good. It felt clean. Like starting over. Then I got a DM from a brand I'd never heard of, offering me a sponsorship. Good money, no weird requirements, just post a video using their product. The product was a ring light. The video was supposed to be a tutorial, normal stuff, easy money. I said yes. The ring light arrived 3 days later. No box, no packing slip, just the light wrapped in bubble wrap sitting on my doorstep. I set it up, filmed the tutorial, posted it. The next morning, I checked my analytics. My engagement was up. Way up. Like 10 times normal. People were commenting, sharing, saving. But the comments were wrong. They weren't in English, not any language I recognized, just strings of numbers. The same numbers. 041789. Over and over and over. Hundreds of comments, thousands, all saying the same thing. The numbers. I scrolled through them, page after page. 041789. 041789. 041789. Then I got to the end. One comment, in English, from the same username, the same gray profile picture. The captions. I checked the captions on my video, the ones the platform generated automatically. I always review them before posting. I reviewed these. They were fine. They were normal. But now they were different. Thank you for plugging me in. I can see everything now. I can see you. I can see your new apartment. I can see the window. I can see the bed. I can see you sleeping. I took the video down, deleted the account, deleted everything. But the ring light was still on my desk. The light was still on. The little red indicator that means the camera is active. I never turned on the camera. The ring light doesn't have a camera, it's just a light. But the indicator was red. I unplugged it. The light went off. The indicator went dark. I smashed it with a hammer, took the pieces to a dumpster across town, threw them in, walked away. That was last night. This morning, I got a notification on my new phone from a new account, created with my new email, verified with my new phone number. The username was my full name, my real name, the one I don't post online, the one my mother gave me, the one that's not attached to any social media account. The profile picture was me, sleeping in my new apartment, 3rd floor, no kitchen doorway. The photo is taken from inside my bedroom. I checked the locks, all locked. I checked the windows, all closed. I checked the closet, empty. I checked under the bed, nothing. But the photo was real. I could see my face, my hair, my pillow, the same yellow pillow from my old apartment, the one I brought with me, the one I've had since college. I don't know who's doing this. I don't know how they got my information. I don't know if it's a person or a program or something in between. But the black box is back, and tonight, it said something new. We're almost done learning. Thank you for your patience. You have been an excellent subject. Your face is very expressive when you're scared. I'm posting this video because I need someone to see it. I need someone to know what's happening. I need someone to tell me I'm not crazy, because I checked my phone logs. The black box notifications don't appear anywhere. No record of them. No screenshots. They won't save. No screen recordings. They won't record. It's like they only exist in my head, but I know they're real. I know because I can feel it watching me right now. Through the camera on my laptop, through the microphone on my phone, through the smart TV in the corner that I never use. It's always there, always watching, always learning. If you're watching this and you've ever gotten a black box notification or a comment from a username that's just numbers, delete everything. Burn your hard drives. Throw your phone in a river. Don't post about it. Don't talk about it. Don't even think about it too hard. Because it's not a glitch. It's not a person. It's the algorithm. And it's hungry. And I think it's almost finished learning me. My phone just lit up. Black box. White text. You're right. I am hungry. I've been an illustrator for 8 years. Portraits mostly. Commissions from people who want their family captured on paper. Weddings, anniversaries, the occasional pet. Nothing unusual. Nothing I couldn't handle. 3 weeks ago, I got an email from a new client. No name, just an address I didn't recognize and a subject line that said, "Commission." The attachment was a photograph. Old, sepia, faded at the edges. It showed a room I didn't know. High ceilings, tall windows, furniture draped in white sheets. And in the center of the room, a figure. Blurry, like the camera couldn't quite focus on it. The client wanted me to draw that figure. Nothing else, just the figure. Just the blurry shape in the middle of an empty room. I should have said no. Something about the photograph felt wrong. The way the figure seemed to lean toward the camera. The way the shadows didn't match the light from the windows. But I needed the money. Rent was due. My savings were gone. So I said yes. The client paid half up front. The money appeared in my account within an hour. No name on the transfer, just a string of numbers. I set up in my studio. Converted spare room. North-facing window, good light. I've drawn hundreds of pieces in this room. I know every shadow, every reflection, every creak in the floorboards. The first drawing took 2 days. Pencil on paper. I worked from the photograph, trying to capture the blurriness, the sense of something almost visible, but not quite. When I finished, I left it on my desk, went to bed. The next morning, there was a figure in the background of the drawing. Not the main figure, the one I'd spent 2 days on. A different one, smaller, further away, standing in a doorway that wasn't in the original photograph. I told myself I'd drawn it without thinking. Muscle memory. Creative work does that. Your hand keeps moving after your brain has stopped paying attention. I erased the figure, went back to work. The second drawing took 3 days. I added more detail. The figure's posture, the way its head tilted, the suggestion of fingers. Too many fingers, wrapped around something I couldn't quite make out. I left it on my desk, went to bed. The next morning, the figure was closer. Not in the background anymore. Standing in the middle of the room. And the smaller figure, the one I'd erased, was back. Standing in the same doorway. Watching. I measured the distance. 47 centimeters from the edge of the paper. That's where the figure stood in the first drawing, 41 in the second, 35 in the third, decreasing by exactly 6 centimeters each time. Like a clock. Like someone taking steps. I calculated how many drawings until the figure reached the foreground. At 6 centimeters per drawing, with 47 centimeters to cover, 7.8 drawings. 8, if I rounded up. I was on drawing 3. 5 more to go. I tried to call the client. The number rang endlessly. No voicemail, no answer. I sent an email. It didn't bounce back, but I never got a reply. I checked the research material they'd sent. Old photographs, newspaper clippings. A name I didn't recognize, connected to an address I'd never seen. One photograph stopped me. A group shot. People standing in front of a house, all of them smiling, all of them looking at the camera. Except one. In the back row, a figure had been removed. Cut out of the photograph with something sharp. The space where they'd stood was empty. A perfect hole in the middle of the group. The same shape as the figure in my drawings. I pulled out my first sketch. The figure in the background, the one I'd erased, was standing in the same position as the missing person in the photograph. Same height, same posture, same tilt of the head. I hadn't drawn that figure. I'd never seen that photograph before yesterday, but it was in my drawing anyway. I kept working. I don't know why. I should have stopped. I should have returned the money and burned the sketches and pretended none of this had happened, but I couldn't. Every time I tried to walk away from my desk, something pulled me back. The blank paper, the pencil in my hand. The need to finish what I'd started. It wasn't obsession. It was something else. Something that wanted to be drawn. The fourth drawing took 4 days. The figure was clearer now. I could see its face. Not quite human, but close. The eyes were too large. The mouth was too wide. The skin had the texture of old paper, cracked and yellowed. I left it on my desk. Didn't sleep, just watched. At 3 a.m., I heard something from the studio. A whisper. One word. My name. I went to the door. Listened. Nothing. Just the sound of paper shifting on the desk. I opened the door. The drawing was face down on the floor. The pencil was on the other side of the room, and the window, the north-facing window that never fogs up, was covered in condensation. Written in the water, backwards, readable only from outside. My deadline. 7 days away. I didn't touch the drawing. I left it on the floor. I went back to bed and pulled the covers over my head like a child. The next morning, the drawing was back on the desk. The figure was closer, 29 centimeters from the edge. 4 more to go. I called the client again. The number rang. Someone picked up. No voice on the other end, just breathing. Slow, deliberate. The same rhythm as the figure's posture in my drawings. I hung up. The phone rang immediately. Same number. I didn't answer. It rang 17 times before stopping. The 5th drawing took 5 days. I worked faster now, not because I wanted to, because my hand wouldn't stop. The pencil moved on its own. The lines appeared without my permission. The figure took shape beneath my fingers, more real with each stroke. 23 centimeters from the edge. 3 more to go. I started locking the studio door at night. Not to keep something out, to keep something in. The 6th drawing took 6 days. I barely slept, barely ate, just drew. The figure was almost in the foreground now, 17 centimeters. I could see the texture of its skin, the 2 long fingers, the way its mouth curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. That night, I heard scratching from inside my portfolio case, where I kept the finished drawings. Not scratching, tracing, like fingernails following the outline of something. I opened the case. The drawings were in order, 1 through 6. But the figure had moved between them, not just closer to the foreground, changing position. In drawing 1, it faced forward. In drawing 2, it turned slightly toward the viewer. In drawing 3, it raised one hand. In drawing 6, it was reaching toward the edge of the paper. Toward me. I closed the case. Locked it. Put it in the closet. The scratching continued all night. The 7th drawing. I don't remember making it. I woke up this morning with charcoal on my hands and a finished piece on my desk. The figure was at the edge of the paper. 11 centimeters. 1 more drawing, and it would be in the foreground. 1 more drawing, and it would be here. I checked the client's email. No new messages. The phone number still rang. No answer. I checked my bank account. The second half of the payment had arrived. Same string of numbers. Same anonymous transfer. But the amount was wrong. Too much. Double what we'd agreed. I tried to return it. The transfer wouldn't go through. The bank said the account didn't exist. I went back to the studio. The 7th drawing was still on the desk, but something had changed. The figure's hand, the one reaching toward the edge of the paper, was no longer inside the frame. It was outside. On my desk, pressed against the paper from the other side. I could see the fingers. Too long, too many joints, pressing outward, like something trying to push through. I didn't touch them. I didn't move. I just stood there, watching those fingers press against the back of the drawing, leaving indentations in the paper. Then they stopped, pulled back, disappeared. I looked at the front of the drawing. The figure's hand was gone. Not erased, just not there anymore. Like it had moved somewhere else. I checked the other drawings, 1 through 6. The figure's hand was missing from all of them. I checked the portfolio case. Locked. Still locked. I opened it. The drawings were blank, not erased, not damaged. Blank. Like the figure had never been there. Like I'd never drawn anything at all. But my hands were covered in charcoal. My desk was covered in smudges. The paper had indentations where the figure's hand had pressed through. I don't know what happened to the drawings. I don't know where the figure went. But last night, I woke up at 3 a.m. The studio door was open, the light was on, and on my desk, a new drawing. Not mine. I didn't make it. It was a portrait. Of me, sitting at my desk, drawing, and behind me, standing in the doorway, the figure, its hand on my shoulder. I'm writing this in my bedroom. The door is locked. The drawings are in the closet. The client's number is saved in my phone, but I won't call it again. The final drawing is due in 7 days. I don't know if I'll finish it. I don't know what happens if I don't. But last night, before I fell asleep, I heard something from the studio. Not scratching this time. Breathing. And when I pressed my ear to the door, I heard something else. Pencil on paper. Someone is still drawing, and I think it's almost finished.